in conjunction with Budari Dance Company, we'll have Mundo Wanaragua. And just a couple of things about Wanaragua quickly so you'll understand. There are two traditions of Wanaragua. The tradition that you see in Belize and the tradition you see in Guatemala and Honduras. So we need to talk about just a couple of things about the differences between the two so you'll understand. According to Garifuna oral tradition, Barauda, how many of you know who Barauda was? The wife of Chatouye. Wife of Chatouye insulted her husband by saying about not being enough man and encouraging him. She said she would wear the pants and he wear the dress. She said the British were invading their communities and burning their cassava fields. So she said, women, we are going to have to dress as men and fight the British. Meanwhile, men, you had better dress as women, because it's the only way to flee the British at the time that they were near the villages. In response, Chatouye developed a strategy whereby Garifuna men would disguise themselves as women's clothing, put themselves in women's clothing. British entered the Garifuna towns unprepared, not expecting male resistance. They assumed that only women were in the villages, but as you know, there were men dressed as women. So dressed as women, the male warriors assaulted the British and took over the troops. And this is how the Garifuna cleverly deceived the British at that time. So this is why you have the tradition in Honduras and Guatemala of them wearing dresses. In Belize, because the Union Jack with their outfits were there already when the Garifuna arrived in Dangriga and in Belize, they encountered them in those particular costumes, in their uniforms. And this is why they wear that military mimic, to replicate them and to make fun of the British, who were never able to defeat or destroy the Garifuna. Okay, Antonio Norales, Mundo Anagua. He will join them and also perform. He's from Boston and he's a Garifuna artisan. He has his booth in the back. And he teaches about the metallic materials utilized to make Wanaragua masks. He shows you how to make the wabamba, and he sells these particular things as well as knee shakers, the rattles, the yahweh, and talks about the particular types of dress. Norales was born in Trujillo, Honduras, and where he first experienced this warrior dance. He moved at the age, family moved to the U.S. when he was at the age of 9. He then decided to return to his Garifuna roots and decided to practice Wanaragua as a way of celebrating Garifuna culture. He started to design the mask, the wababa, the dress, and the knee rattles. He will have a booth in the back, and we encourage you to go to see his wares. He has things to sell for you, the mask and complete outfits for those of you who want to take home a Wanaragua costume. Thank you.
Yay, wai mata lo murugu maladi. Wanaragua.
Baba,
bade uye la wiro mure e dungo ya dina luma na tinyo dungo ya dina luma America na America e dare na America yo ha do mamito be manuare mi alwo dungo ya dina luma na tinyo dungo ya dina luma America na America na America yo ha tu mamito be manuare mi alwo se kana dinero con él lo con huella tenía ma graguanaro no bondelie no bondala huella yo mola guay ya tananigo udari don company ah la vida ma malaya nale ve udaro lagere do ida megi ya wajuro cara da jelo no ne lo ko no we ya dunia ma grago na ro bundili no bunda na o we ya sio wala boy ah la mi da ma malaya na le el ida lagere do ida megi Mona boyaro, que mona boyaro, yara abito, ayogoro alega yo nao, ayogoro alega yo nao, le venere kierga yara abito, la cuñeta nao aña la cuñeta, ure almano barón aña ira wini ariabo, ure viva. Eto le alma no varón añaira wili e baguaro no goya añaira wili e la goyeda na ugaña la goyeda le alma no varón añaira wili ariabo ure viva wala boy eto le alma no varón añaira wili baguaro no voy a ya wile ariabo titiero ye benu hanyara ana bage nu hanya tibili wa mamuga wa natira agonya no fuwe no fuwe ibedi gayo ayabe usama mabosa ayabe mama
Wanaragua.